Alright guys, hopefully y'all won in the last game. I didn't do so well, even the free pick only went 2 out of 4, which is wild. But listen, watch until the end, because I'm adding another free pick again. And make sure you guys flex your picks. Alright, so let's begin. Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Los Angeles Lakers plus 7.5. The Lakers are coming off a tight 123-120 win over the Raptors, where Austin Reeves exploded for 44 points and 11 assists on efficient shooting. They've now won 16 of their first 21 games, and even though LeBron had a quiet night, they still found a way to close it out at the buzzer. Boston has been hot too, winning 8 of their last 10 and blowing out Washington without Jaylen Brown. But with Jason Tatum already ruled out and Brown still questionable, this line becomes interesting. If Brown sits again, the Lakers have enough momentum to hang around and keep this one close. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Austin Reeves, over 3.5 3-pointers made. He's coming off a 5-for-1 one night from deep against Toronto, hit 3 threes against Phoenix, 4 against New Orleans, and 6 against Dallas. He's consistently taking 7+ attempts per game, and with his current rhythm, hitting 4 threes is very doable. Miami, Heat versus Orlando Magic. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Orlando Magic -5.5. Miami has been playing well overall, winning 7 of their last 9, but they're coming off a 118-108 loss to Dallas, where they shot just 40% from the field. They also struggled without Norman Powell, and now both Powell and Tyler Herro are listed as questionable. Orlando has won 9 of their last 12, and even though they fell to the Spurs by 2, they've been the more consistent team lately. With Miami potentially short-handed and Orlando playing strong basketball at home, I'm rolling with the Magic to cover this modest line. Now, for the player prop, I'm going with Norman Powell, over 20.5 points. He's cleared this in 2 of his last 3 games, dropping 30 against the Clippers and 28 against Detroit. When he's active, he gets volume and efficiency, so if he suits up, 20.5 is very reachable for him. Denver Nuggets versus Atlanta Hawks. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Denver Nuggets. Denver has won 8 straight on the road and they've covered in 13 of their first 21 games. Offensively, they're rolling with Nikola Jokic averaging a triple-double and Jamal Murray shooting over 45% from deep. Atlanta has been solid, but most of their best performances this season have come on the road. They're just 3-6 ATS at home. With Denver playing elite basketball on both ends and carrying major momentum into this matchup, I'm taking the Nuggets to get the win. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Jalen Johnson, over 21.5 points. He's been on fire, scoring 29 against Detroit, 41 against Philly, and 29 against Cleveland. With 3 big scoring nights in his last 4 games, this 21.5 line sits in a very hittable range for him. San Antonio Spurs versus Cleveland Cavaliers. For this matchup, I'm siding with the San Antonio Spurs plus 5.5. San Antonio has won 7 of their last 9 and is coming off a tight 114-112 win over the Magic, led by 31 from De'Aaron Fox. Even without Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, they've been one of the hotter teams lately. Meanwhile, Cleveland has dropped 4 of their last 5 and is dealing with a long injury list, including Garland, Struss, Allen, Merrill, and Nance all ruled out. They just lost to Portland and struggled defensively, allowing 122. With the Cavs so short-handed and the Spurs carrying momentum, I'm taking San Antonio to cover on the road. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Evan Mobley, over 3.5 assists. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games, posting 5 assists against Portland, 5 against Indiana, 4 against Boston, and 7 against Atlanta. With Cleveland missing so many playmakers, Mobley has been creating more offense, making this assist line very reachable. Portland Trail Blazers versus Detroit Pistons. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Detroit Pistons -6.5. Detroit is 17-5 on the season and has been one of the stronger home teams in the league, covering in 7 of their last 11 at Little Caesars Arena. Cade Cunningham continues to lead the way with elite scoring and playmaking, and the Pistons come in with a 76% win projection according to NumberFire. Portland has been competitive at times, but they're still 9-13 and just haven't shown the consistency Detroit has, especially on the defensive end. With Detroit rolling and playing at home, I'm taking the Pistons to get the win and the cover. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Jerami Grant, over 3.5 rebounds. He's hit this mark in 4 of his last 5 games, with rebound totals of 5, 4, 3, 4, and 4. He's consistently around 30 plus minutes, so getting 4 boards is very doable for him in this matchup. New York Knicks versus Utah Jazz. For this matchup, I'm siding with the New York Knicks -13.5. The Knicks have been playing great basketball lately, winning 5 of their last 6 and coming off a dominant win against Charlotte. Karl Anthony Towns just dropped 35 and 18, and the Knicks defense looks locked in. Utah has been better than expected, and they've picked up some tough wins lately, but going into New York is a different challenge. The talent gap and defensive pressure from the Knicks should be the difference here, so I'm taking New York to cover this big number at home. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Keontae George, over 20.5 points. He's cleared this in 4 of his last 5 games, scoring 29 against Brooklyn, 28 and 28 2 recent Houston matchups, and 31 against Sacramento. He's been aggressive, playing heavy minutes, and is in one of his best scoring stretches of the season, so this line is very hittable for him. Toronto Raptors versus Charlotte Hornets. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Toronto Raptors -8.5. Toronto has been one of the more consistent teams in the East, winning 15 of their first 23 games and holding opponents to just 113 points per game. Charlotte, meanwhile, has lost 9 straight road games and continues to struggle defensively, allowing nearly 120 a night. With the Raptors playing at home and the Hornets giving up heavy scoring both inside and out, I like Toronto to control this one and cover the spread at home. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Scotty Barnes, under 22.5 points. The projection on this one sits at 19.77, and with the Raptors' balanced scoring plus Charlotte's tendency to give up rebounds and threes more than straight scoring volume, this number could come in lower. Based on the projection and matchup, the under makes sense here. Indiana Pacers versus Chicago Bulls. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Chicago Bulls. Indiana has dropped 10 straight on the road and continues to struggle defensively, giving up 120 points per game. Their injuries and lack of consistency on that end make it tough to trust them in any road spot. Chicago hasn't been perfect, but they're much stronger at home with a 6-3 home record. Josh Giddey has been leading the offense well, and the Bulls' ball movement should give them the edge against an Indiana team that can't get stops. With the Pacers' 0-10 road record, I'm taking the Bulls to win and cover. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Jay Huff, over 1.5 assists. He's hit this in 3 of his last 4 games, with assist totals of 2, 1, 2, and 2. He's been active in limited minutes and continues to find teammates when he gets touches, so this number is very doable for him. Houston Rockets versus Phoenix Suns. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Houston Rockets -8.5. Houston has been strong all season, winning 4 of their last 5 and sitting near the top of the Western Conference. They're coming off a dominant 121-95 win over Sacramento, where Sengun and Durant both went off. Phoenix has been playing better, but they're still inconsistent and will be without Devin Booker for this one. That's a major loss, and against a Rockets team rolling on both ends, it puts the Suns at a clear disadvantage on the road. I'm taking the Rockets to control this matchup and cover. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Dillon Brooks, over 21.5 points. He's cleared this in 3 of his last 5 games, including a 33-point explosion against the Lakers, 27 against Denver, and 29 the last time he faced Houston. He's getting big scoring volume right now, so this number is very doable for him. LA Clippers versus Memphis Grizzlies. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Memphis Grizzlies plus 1.5. The Clippers finally snapped their losing streak with a dominant win over the Hawks, but overall they've dropped 14 of their last 17 and still lack consistency. Memphis, despite dealing with a ton of injuries, has won 5 of their last 7 and continues to compete hard at home. They had a tough loss to the Spurs, but they were in control most of that game. With the Grizzlies covering well as home underdogs and the Clippers still struggling to string wins together, I'm taking Memphis to get it done at home. Now for the player prop, I'm rolling with Ivica Zubac double-double over 0.5. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been dominating the glass every night and playing big minutes, so another double-double is very achievable here. Philadelphia 76ers versus Milwaukee Bucks. For this matchup, I'm rocking with the Philadelphia 76ers -2. Milwaukee is still without Giannis, and even though their guards have stepped up, the Bucks defense continues to give up heavy scoring nights. Philly's offense is rolling behind Maxey, and their pace combined with Milwaukee's defensive issues makes the 76ers the stronger side. Now for the player prop, I'm locking in Kyle Kuzma over 2.5 assists. He's been extremely consistent with this line, hitting it in 5 straight recent games. With Milwaukee leaning on multiple ball handlers and Kuzma stepping into a steady playmaking role, 2.5 is a very reachable number again. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Dallas Mavericks. For this matchup, I'm siding with the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC has been on a historic run all season long. They're sitting at 21-1, they've won 13 straight, and they're coming off another explosive performance where they shot nearly 60% from the field. Even when teams make a push like Golden State did, the Thunder always find a second gear and pull away late. Dallas has looked better recently, but facing this Thunder team on the road is a completely different challenge. Now for the player prop, I'm locking in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 32.5 points. He's cleared this number in 4 of his last 5 games, and he's doing it with elite efficiency and massive usage. Shai is in full takeover mode right now, dropping 37, 40, 37. The book set this number high for a reason, and I still like him to go past it again. With Dallas short-handed defensively and OKC playing at a fast pace, this scoring line sits in a very hittable range. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and always drop a comment.